It seemed like a perfectly normal day for her. I mean, she was following her routine to a T and nothing was out of place. But what happened next was strange, to say the least. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, as of now, I will be posting stories every Tuesday and every Friday, at least for now. Friday is definite. Tuesday might switch in a month or two. For this month, though, we're going to try out Tuesday. But also, don't forget to find the hidden clue in today's story and then put what it is along with the timestamp in the comments to get entered into the giveaway and pinned. So, without any further ado, it's time to slip into a mind that's not our own. Let's go. Patrice Andres was a mother and hairdresser who owned her own salon. And at noon on April 15th, 2004, two of Patrice's regular customers arrive at Tamber's Trim and Tan Salon for their scheduled appointments. The owner and hairstylist, Patrice, is nowhere to be found. But you see, her purse and her keys, they were still left on her desk, and her lunch was actually still warm in the microwave. And her car was parked at an odd angle in front of the salon, and it wasn't in its usual place. And when they saw that the cash drawer was also open and empty, the two women knew something was seriously wrong, so they called 911. The search for Patrice begins immediately. The police arrived and there was a thorough search for her, but it seemed like Patrice had just walked away in the 13 minutes and vanished. Now, owning a hair salon was Patrice Andres' dream come true, and her husband, Rob, helped her purchase and remodel it to perfection. And after she disappears, Rob is devastated and claims that, he loved Patrice with all of his heart. But Patrice's son, family, and friends disagree. They claim he was jealous, possessive, and controlling, and Patrice was actually getting ready to divorce him. The already strained relationship between Rob and his stepson, Pistol, who was Patrice's son, totally disintegrates when the disappearance of Patrice happens. Though her family hopes and prays that Patrice will return, her disappearance has all the signs of an abduction. Police, family, and friends combed through the area for weeks. And that's when these investigators created a timeline based on Patrice's customers that day and her cell phone calls, and identify a narrow 13-minute window of time when the abduction took place. Now, Rob has an airtight alibi, yet he falls under suspicion because he knew Patrice's schedule and he would have known that she would be alone during those 13 minutes. And some believe Rob kidnapped and killed his wife because their marriage was unraveling. Now, of course, Rob denies this, saying that they were happy and Patrice was totally devoted to him and she was the love of his life. But months after Patrice's disappearance, serial killer Jeremy Jones confesses to abducting and killing Patrice. And he seems to know details about the crime that only the kidnapper could know. When he later, though, recants his confession, which means takes it back, some investigators cross him off their list of suspects. Yet one detective remains convinced that it was Jones who abducted and murdered Patrice. Almost 2 years after she vanished, Patrice's skeletal remains are found behind a church in Dawson Forest, Georgia, about 11 miles away from her salon. Now, this area that she was found in is notorious as the location where another serial killer called Gary Hilton disposed of the body of a young female hiker. Hilton becomes now a prime suspect, but evidence does not connect him to Patrice's murder. So with several compelling suspects, but not enough evidence to bring charges, investigators need someone with one clue or any vital information to help solve this baffling abduction and murder of Patrice Andres. So who killed Patrice Andres? That is the question that remains on everyone's mind. Now, Patrice's married life wasn't as happy as she had expected to be because her husband, Rob Andres, was possessive and didn't really like Pistol Black, which was her son, much. And according to Pistol, the couple had been arguing a lot before her disappearance, and she even threw around the word divorce. So of course, Rob was a suspect and remains one to this day, but no concrete evidence ties him to her eventual death. He was far away, near his work during the time she was last seen, but that doesn't completely eliminate the killer for hire aspect of it. And another suspect was, like I said, the serial killer Gary Michael Hilton, who had killed in that area around 2008, but that didn't pan out either. And then convicted serial killer Jeremy Bryan Jones seemed like a good lead, especially because he himself claimed credit for her murder, but he later recanted it, as I said. And these claims also became discredited when her remains were found 70 miles from where Jeremy said he murdered her. You see, two witnesses told the investigators that around 11:45 a.m. on April 15, 2004, there was a man driving by just screaming at the salon saying, "Please subscribe to Mr. E-Files and turn on those notifications. Also hit the like button." Alright, but also on April 15th, 2004, they saw a blue car just outside Patrice's salon and another person who had shoulder-length hair. Now, while one of them said the person was female, the other one said that the person was male. Now, this information, although a little contradictory, is important because they both basically saw the same thing and were probably the last people, apart from the killer, to have seen Patrice alive. One thing that investigators note is that her wedding ring, two bands soldered together with a marquee center stone, was missing. Not to mention it wasn't with her remains, it wasn't in the area that surrounded, and it still hasn't been found. Even after more than 15 years, this case of Patrice Andres' murder is still open. And due to the suspicious nature of her disappearance, investigators ruled her death a homicide. How she died or when exactly she died remains unreleased information because it is quote-unquote called guilty information, which means they're trying to catch the person by holding that information and maybe finding out who it is by somebody accidentally releasing that information thinking it was public knowledge. That's smart, and it's a good way to catch the killer. But only the killer himself and the investigators know the complete details of what happened to her. Where is Patrice's ring? I mean, Georgia officials hope that someone may come across that ring, consisting of, like I said, two 14-karat gold rings that were soldered together with a 1.5 carat pear-shaped marquee diamond in the center. Now guys, like I said, please like this video and share it because the Georgia Bureau of Investigation writes on its website that if you have any information about this case or the ring's location, you can help their tip line at 800-597-8477. And wouldn't that just be so amazing if we could get this video out to enough people, a large amount of people, that someone actually knows something and we could actually help solve a case? That would be truly amazing. With that being said, I want to let you know that I have been getting many requests for paranormal stories. So this week, I have literally been doing nothing but reading and writing. And I got 2 or 3 paranormal stories that are coming up that I think you're really going to enjoy, including one that's dropping on Friday. So like I always say, make sure those post notifications right now are turned to all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.